In the year 37 AD, the people of Rome woke up to joyful news. The son of their beloved commander Germanicus had returned. They appointed him as king and emperor. Surely prosperity would spread across the empire by his hands, just as joy did. And indeed, he lived up to their expectations, bringing a year of justice, goodness, and prosperity. But after the first year of his rule ended, this incident happened, and everything changed. The era of the just emperor ended, and the age of the madman Caligula began. In today's story, I'll tell you about a kind of madness you've never heard before, and by the end we'll reach one truth. Beware of the madness of greatness, it will destroy you. And beware of staying silent when injustice first begins, because it only gets worse. I'm Ezzo, and I'll bring you the most amazing stories from all cultures and ages, so please hit the like button to help spread this historical content. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit the follow button and don't forget the bell icon so you never miss any of the upcoming epic stories. Now take a deep breath and let's begin our story. On the 31st of August in the year 12 AD, in the Italian city of Antium, Gaius Caesar Augustus Germanicus was born, the third son of the beloved Roman commander Germanicus and his wife Agrippina the Elder, granddaughter of emperors. The boy's great-grandfather was none other than the famous Emperor Julius Caesar, which is why the name Caesar appears often in our story. The young boy lived happily with his parents and 6 siblings. He often accompanied his father to training grounds and sometimes even battlefields. For this reason, his mother designed a miniature traditional Roman military uniform for him, complete with a small pair of soldier's boots. The little boy would proudly walk among the soldiers in his tiny outfit, earning the nickname Caligula, which means little boot. His family usually joined Germanicus on his military campaigns. In 19 AD, while in Antioch, his father died under mysterious circumstances. Officially, it was said that Germanicus died from a mysterious illness, but his family was certain he was poisoned under orders from Emperor Tiberius, who saw him as a rival. Even though Tiberius had adopted Germanicus by order of Emperor Augustus to ensure a line of succession, tension between the two men was well known. That's why the family was convinced that Tiberius had orchestrated his death. After her husband's death, Agrippina returned to Rome with her 6 children. There she clashed with Emperor Tiberius, who saw her and her sons as a threat. In 29 AD, he exiled her to the island of Pandateria, a place known for harsh treatment, hunger, and misery. But it didn't stop with her. Tiberius also targeted her sons, especially the eldest and middle boys. The oldest, Nero Caesar, was considered a likely successor to Germanicus. With help from the head of the imperial guard, Sejanus, Tiberius accused Nero of treason and exiled him to the island of Pontia. Nero died there of starvation in 31 AD, while Agrippina met the same fate in 33 AD. The middle son, Drusus Caesar, was also accused of plotting against Tiberius. He was imprisoned in an underground cell in Rome for years before dying of starvation, or perhaps suicide, in 33 AD. But Caligula survived. He was still a child and posed no threat to Tiberius. He and his sisters were kept in Italy under the emperor's watch. He learned how to survive in the imperial palace, playing the role of the obedient and unaffected boy, even after his mother and brothers died at the hands of the emperor. Thanks to his cunning and intelligence, Caligula gained Tiberius's favor. In 31 AD, the emperor invited him to live with him on the island of Capri, where Tiberius had been living in isolation for over 5 years. There, Caligula perfected the arts of flattery and manipulation, even turning Tiberius against Sejanus, who was later executed for treason. These skills earned Caligula a place as the official heir, alongside Tiberius Gemellus. When Tiberius died in 37 AD, although he was already a sick old man, many historical sources suggest that Caligula arranged for his death, having him strangled by the head of the imperial guard, Macro. As per the emperor's will, Caligula made Gemellus his co-ruler, likely because Gemellus was still a minor and easier to control. But soon, Caligula saw him as a threat and had him executed less than a year later. He claimed Gemellus had taken an antidote, suggesting he was trying to poison him. With Gemellus gone, Caligula ruled alone, and that's when the madness began. At first, the people welcomed Caligula as a hero, calling him our son and our star. After all, he was the son of the beloved Germanicus. And in his first year, he didn't disappoint. He lowered taxes, freed prisoners, and ruled with justice and prosperity. But suddenly, at the end of 37 AD, Caligula fell gravely ill. He battled the illness for a month and survived, but the man who recovered wasn't the same. The old Caligula was gone, and the mad Caligula emerged. He declared himself a god and ordered statues of himself to be placed in every temple across the empire, even in Jerusalem. He forced senators and citizens to kneel before him and worship him. After his beloved sister Drusilla died in 38 AD, he declared her a goddess too. The people had to offer prayers and sacrifices to her statues. Crying over her was forbidden, but not crying was also forbidden. Yes, both crying and not crying were crimes. The people were trapped between a rock and a hard place. It got worse. Caligula banned families from passing down private property to their children. Everything belonged to the state. He issued death sentences left and right and forced parents to watch their own children be executed. This mad emperor even closed down food warehouses across the empire, just to cause mass famine and enjoy watching people die slowly from hunger. He once said, "I will be your replacement for food." And because madness comes in many forms, Caligula's insanity only got more creative. Caligula's madness grew darker and more disturbing. He appointed his favorite horse Incitatus as a high priest and planned to make him a senator, building him a marble stable and feeding him oats mixed with gold flakes. He even forced government officials to attend ceremonies honoring the horse. Caligula would often disguise himself and walk the streets of Rome at night, stabbing people randomly just to see how it felt. He made nobles run beside his chariot like slaves, laughed during executions, and turned the imperial palace into a place of unspeakable horrors. He spent enormous sums of money on meaningless spectacles, like ordering a floating bridge across the Bay of Baiae just to ride his horse across it in golden armor, proving a prophecy wrong that said he had no more chance of becoming emperor than riding a horse across the sea. He also loved to humiliate senators and nobles. He would summon them, force them to dance or act like clowns, and then mock or punish them for it. He had people tortured while he ate meals nearby, saying he enjoyed the sound of screams as background music. We continue with this tyrant's madness as he suddenly orders the killing of all bald men in the country simply because he hates them. The irony? Some historical sources suggest that he himself might have been bald. Strange, isn't it? As if all this wasn't enough, he declared war on the sea. Yes, the sea. He marched his army to the English Channel and ordered them to stab the waves and collect seashells as spoils of war. When asked what these were, he said they were plunder from the ocean, gifts for the gods of Rome. The Roman treasury was drained. The empire fell into financial crisis. To raise money, Caligula reopened treason trials, accusing the wealthy of fake crimes, executing them, and seizing their property. He also turned the palace into a brothel, where senators' wives were forced to serve guests. And because he trusted no one, Caligula began killing off his allies, one by one. No one was safe. Even his guards and closest advisors feared for their lives. Eventually, even the ones who had helped him rise to power decided they had seen enough. In 41 AD, after less than 4 years of rule, a conspiracy was formed. A group of senators and members of the Praetorian Guard ambushed Caligula in a palace corridor and stabbed him to death. He was only 28 years old. His wife and daughter were also killed shortly after. The people of Rome, once overjoyed by his rise to power, now celebrated his death. But the empire had been shaken. The Roman people had witnessed firsthand what happens when absolute power is given to a madman. And thus ends the story of Caligula, the mad emperor who began as a symbol of hope and became a symbol of terror. So what can we take from this? Beware of those who seem too good to be true. Power can reveal a person's true nature, and always remember, the silence of the people in the face of injustice allows madness to grow and destroy everything in its path. This was Ezzo, and I'll see you in the next story.